Oakland Vallejo, the Bay Area, stand up. I'm from that town. She from Vallejo. Said let's collab. She said okay. We all should play. Hot potato. Whoever got the hottest vibe. Challenges with it. It's me, Hamza. Best like creative players on hunters, no less. The lines on your forehead just told me you stressing. Got G-O-D on me side. Ooh, he blessed me. All these lies they tell it's a vaccine. They're acting it's so bad like it's wrestling. Keep my circle so small it's insane. If you made the cut then you're part of my team. Just like bowling at plank, all strikes don't gutter. Attracted to the mind but I like mine's hooder. She gotta have a pretty face too.
Hello, good afternoon. I hope that everybody can see me correctly. We have an atmospheric river coming over California and it's making all the Wi-Fi, at least in my city, very slow. So please bear with me. That's the little disclaimer. But welcome. Welcome to the channel. We have James from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel who is here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for
having me.
We are pretty much going to talk shit for a minimum of 30 minutes because that's all they gave us. I can't even take like half of what we saw in this episode seriously, but we're going to jump into season 12, episode 3 of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I can't believe it's been 12 seasons. Mona is carrying and keeping this show together like the wig to her, the glue to her wig or the wig to her glue, because how it made it this far, I don't know. I just don't. Anyhow, jumping into this episode, we see Spice, Sierra, and Shekinah go mini golf with their children. Good for them. I'm not going to comment too much on that. The only reason we're commenting on it is because this is where she invites the ladies who are with her to Belize, which is a beautiful island filled with chocolate people that speak a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of other things. I've always wanted to go there. Side note. Not too much happened in that scene. Sierra's still complaining about this fucking divorce, and I genuinely don't care. I'm trying to find like nice words to say it, but
there's no nice way to say that. We don't care.
Yeah.
Y'all shouldn't have got married in the first fucking place, but whatever. That's beyond me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm going to agree with James. I know she has started having issues with her marriage and stuff during the pandemic and all of that, and I mean, when you're forced to be with your spouse, you find out if you're going to be together or apart. Because, anywho, moving it along, the next thing we see is some bullshit. We see Yandy and her cousin Keisha with the fucked up wig line go to a holistic space. They're trying to, now they're prepping, I don't even know. They're trying to basically prep Yandy's body for the IVF process, which you have to go through in order for any form of an egg retrieval. This is just what we go through. Basically, she wants to also add to, the things with the shots and working out. She wants to add some sort of healing, spiritualness or whatever to it, which I don't think anything's wrong with when it's legit. But when you're just doing this to have relevancy on a television show, when you have 10,969 and we're going to carry the 2 other businesses, I don't see the need for Yandy doing all of this. Basically, at this little holistic place, we find out that Keisha's infertility issues are more serious. This is really the first time we found out why and what could be making her infertile when it comes to having babies. So what we got from Keisha is she met with her doctor to prep for becoming pregnant and to carry the egg. Why she had not already met with this doctor, I don't know. But she meets with the doctor, and she obviously has had a battle with fibroids because she says they found 5 more fibroids. I can't go through this again. And her endometriosis is acting up so bad that she has what's known as an enlarged uterus. I am not a medical professional, y'all. I am just repeating what the hell I see on the show. But as a woman, some of these issues I've had, and I'm looking at Keisha and Yandy with the side eye now because y'all not about to play with our intelligence like this. So basically, Keisha, in order to do this, similar to Sweet Tea, check out James's Married to Medicine recaps. Fertility is just a thing right now on Bravo. Lord help us. I mean, fertility is a freaking thing.
I mean, when you think about, like, I want to know how old is Keisha? That's the first thing. Secondly, I want to understand, can you even carry? If Yandy were to even give you the eggs, and like, can you even carry full term?
So that's what we find out after she tells Andy this. She says, I can't go through. In order for her to carry, she has to have the surgery, just like Sweet Tea on Married to Medicine.
Yeah, but
But it's still not guaranteed.
it's not guaranteed. That's why I'm saying, like, can you really have you carried full term? Like, because I'm not a doctor, but what I'm going to say is this: there is other avenues of issues when it comes to people doing childbirth or pregnancy this way. There's a lot more issues that can happen versus it being natural.
Yeah,
So, because
so
your
many
body
more.
immediately sometimes responds in a negative way, and that's due to your DNA and chromosomes. Your body is a natural healer. So when you implant something in your body, naturally your body's just going to want to push it out because it's not supposed to be there, because it naturally did not form in there. That's, just the science of it. So I'm wondering, I don't know, I feel like this is a risky thing to do, but also I don't want to crush her dreams of becoming a mother, so I'm trying to tread lightly with what
Here's
I'm
the
saying.
thing: you
But
can be a woman. My I don't know what the hell. I guess my stepmother-in-law, my husband's dad's wife, super nice
Mhm.
lady. He never had kids. My husband's dad, his kids were with his mama and some other lady in LA somewhere. But I mean, shit,
Damn, why you say it like that?
that's where she is, somewhere in Los Angeles. She's somewhere in Inglewood. That's what I heard. But I'm just keeping it real. But Miss Linda never had kids. I've actually asked her about that because the older I get with not having kids, I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna want to go through that. The older you get with your body, your time, just in general. But I think a lot of women have this idea that we were put here on the planet, which is kind of true, to procreate, but it's okay and you have value even if you don't have children. I think the people who can't have children should be the ones adopting versus trying methods like surrogacy and things like that, because they're not always guaranteed to go well unless you got like Housewives of Beverly Hills money, not Love Hip Hop Atlanta money. Uh, but I'm just keeping it real. So Keisha basically is telling Andy, on top of them not knowing if they'll be able to carry this baby, it's going to take a year process. She's not concerned about the timeline. She seems more so concerned about going through the surgery and things like that mentally. I don't care if you've had surgery just to remove a bunion. If you've had surgery, you understand that that shit is tiring. It's draining. It's painful. It's an exhausting process no one wants to go through, whoever you are. So I understood Keisha there. Side note, Keisha, now you say you can't carry your own baby, y'all find another way. And now Keisha wants to use a surrogate. You said that you want Yandy's eggs so that you can carry a baby that has your DNA to some form. Now, when you have endometriosis, though it is harder to hold a pregnancy, okay, you I can't believe I'm having to explain sex ed.
I mean, like,
I'm gonna do it fast though. I'm gonna do it fast. But basically, you can hold a pregnancy, or there's a lower chance and percentage that you'll be able to hold a pregnancy. But that doesn't mean that Keisha is not producing eggs. And this is the part of the storyline for me. Let's not go off of, oh no, this is fake. Look at her, she's crying. Do you know how many people can cry on cue? That don't mean nothing. This lady has holes in her story. Yandel, you're bullshitting us with your cousin and her shitty wigs. You got this woman on TV looking a fool. Now, how the hell you want to have a baby and you can't afford a wig? Make it make sense. That's one. Two, why can't Keisha use her own egg? Why? I don't get that. You're
did
having
they
a
say
baby.
that? Did they say that she had eggs?
Why would she not?
Some women can't produce.
I know, but this lady is saying she has endometriosis and is developing fibroids, things that are hormonal and linked to periods. Periods are linked to eggs. If she didn't have eggs, I feel like she would be very clear on that. So when you're not clear on shit, I'm just looking at Keisha and Yandy like
They
they're
might
lying.
be. What is the? I'm slipping, but she might have. What is the you produce eggs, but they're like black, like they're not fertilized, like they're not fertile. It's
Unable to be fertilized.
whatever Khloe Kardashian had that one year on the Kardashians. That doctor did get a great explanation on what it is, because I was like, oh, thank you, because not a lot of people know about that.
That's why I think they're bullshitting, because the doctor would say that.
Oh, I know. Well, we know they bullshitting, but we just trying to make sense for the people who watch it and go, okay, like had the same questions we have. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I think this is straight up storyline. I do not believe this is real. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care. Yandy could come on live right now while we doing this video and tell me, James, watch my reviews, my sister, well, your cousin, because I don't know what the fuck she is to you. She could tell me right out of her face. And you know what I must do? I'm going to go with history, because history says Yandy be lying.
Yeah, she does.
All the time. Y'all, Yandy lie like Phaedra.
Yeah, she does. She's good at it.
She's good at it. She makes it very like, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. She could say a full sentence.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be right on the screen, but you didn't hear her say the middle word that was in that sentence. And she'll tell you she did. And you know what proof she got? The subtitles caught it, so I had to have said it, even though you didn't hear it. That's the lie. That's the lie. That's how good the lie is.
Yandy's crazy. Here's the thing I don't like as a woman. At some point in my adulthood, I've actually struggled with endometriosis, had to take pills. I was lucky enough that muscle relaxers and pills, along with metformin, diabetic medicine that's also used to help fertility and stuff. I haven't had an issue with it since dealing with those medicines and losing weight, because I guess that can impact endometriosis. It is incredibly painful. It does suck to be a woman and be like, damn, why can't I have a baby? I get that part. But if you guys are storylining us with this bullshit, which it looks like, because medical fact, scientific fact, and common sense lean towards this looking like some bullshit, shame on you, Yandel. Shame on you, Mendici. Shame on everybody in your crew, including Mona and the camera people who knew that this was some bullshit, because for those who actually struggle with fertility, it's a serious thing. And for y'all to play in our face about that is not okay. You could have used this opportunity to speak about Black adoption. Like, you know, let her adopt the child. Yandy adopt that little Infinity girl who's missing now. Why the hell can't Keisha adopt somebody? So it's just looking weird, but we're going to move on, because unfortunately this will be a huge topic for this whole fucking episode, which irks my soul, but you know, I'm still smiling. Anywho, Rennie, Spice, Shekinah, and Sierra make it to Belize, and Sierra is still talking about this man, Eric. I'm tired of her talking about him. You served him divorce papers on camera. You get married too fast. You date niggas and marry people more than I change drawers. And I change my drawers twice a day. So I don't know, Sierra, but I don't want to hear about it anymore.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
Because nobody cares. Yeah. It's like the red flag could be right in front of your face, dangling and spinning around, and you follow it. But somehow you look around it and still go after the target. I just have never seen such foolishness in all of my life. Like, I just want to know, why do you do this? And then why do you pitch it on this show to get people invested in this shit, all for you to turn around and do the thing they tell you to run from? That's just so crazy to me. It's so crazy to me that that's what she does.
Yep. Man, that's the best way to summarize it. And you did it respectfully.
Well, I'm going to try, because she's still a Black woman at the end of the day, and I still want to be respectful, which is why it was hard for me to talk about the whole Keisha thing. It's hard for me to want to down Black women, but also, let's, you know, the gotcha is, even though I don't want to down Black women can't get on TV and do stupid shit and then expect people who recap the show and watching to give our opinions for us not to speak on it. We just can't do it. Like, I'm caught in between a road and a hard place.
You said between a road and a hard place. Listen, I agree. But yeah, I mean, it is nice. The only thing I will say, it is nice that throughout someone's passing, because Sierra's grandmother passed, and she says that Eric was by her side, has not crossed boundaries or any of that. So, y'all may not have worked out together, but obviously you better apart because he's still able to be respectful and be there for you, even though you're going through a hard time. So y'all may be breaking up, but at least he really loved you. Shekinah wants to date. I don't know how Shekinah has survived on reality TV for over a decade without ever exposing anything about her personal life. Nothing. I'm over it.
I was gonna say that shit with Akbar, but that shit was stupid anyway.
It don't count. I'm talking about like real shit from her personal life. We ain't seen Shekinah date. When she has had a man, we found out because people was talking shit and she want to keep it private. We didn't see her do nothing on T.I. and Tiny show except complain and show her jealousy because her friend had a rich man. I just don't get Shekinah's purpose on Love and Hip Hop. She's just loud, but she doesn't.
As I said to you via text message with Share in Public, I feel like VH1 owed her some money.
They probably did.
I do. I feel like VH1 owed her some money. And I feel like they said, okay, well, we'll put you on Love and Hip Hop since you know a couple of people on the show. And she ended up being a comic relief her first season because she was. And they decided just to go ahead and keep her on the show. I feel like I feel like a lot of these networks do it as a way, and y'all people are stupid when y'all do this shit. I'm gonna say that now. They owe you money. And then what they do is the money that they owe you, they make you actually work for it to pay you back. It is the stupidest shit. And then what they do is they like to tie it up with, oh yeah, you could promote whatever you want on there, whatever business venture you have promoted on our show. We will not get a back end for that. We'll just pay you what you owe you. But you still don't understand. Y'all are still working for that money.
Yeah.
Y'all still are
probably
working
do
for
owe
that
her
money.
because remember she was a part of T.I. and Tiny's Family Hustle, and then it just ended. What's up, Emmanuel? I believe that is Evo Skyline. I'm pretty sure it is. Thank you for leaving the comment. But yeah, to Shekinah, they have to owe her something. I agree because Family Hustle like abruptly ended, and then she never came back on it because when it abruptly ended, in the midst of all that, her and Tiny had some issues. So I don't know, but I don't care that she's dating. I really don't. Moving on, we did see Mendices working. On one of the properties Yandy has purchased for him to play with. And Yandy pops up, and basically she pops up with a picnic, like she's going to do something nice for her man. And I'm like, off top, this whole scene looks staged. How is it his property, but you hugging the guy, Yandy? Like, anyway. Yandy gets there, interrupts their entire business meeting so that she could set up a damn blanket on the ground of this random house that I guess Mendices is working on. And why is it that all the men, specifically on the East Coast, because it's like this on Housewives of New Jersey, it's like this on basically most shows I see filmed on the East Coast, everybody questionable, ratchet, or who we never really seen work a job that's legal ends up flipping houses. It just seems to be the thing because I'm pretty sure that's what Mendices and them are doing.
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're doing that too. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I don't question that at all. That's why I was like, okay. And that seems to be the thing everybody's doing in Atlanta. They are getting old, dilapidated, and raggedy homes and trying to flip them and make some money and stuff. The whole, I feel like because I don't want to put Egypt Sherrod in this category because I feel like her shit is legit.
Yeah.
Because she has HGTV. Yeah, they have HGTV. But I feel like everyone's trying to take that same route.
A lot of people are. And it's kind of like, can we be original?
Yeah, because I think her husband was a DJ, if I wasn't mistaken, or still is. I think he's a DJ. I think he still is one. But yeah, everyone's taking that route, and I don't understand that. I just am like, okay. So it's good to have y'all some, extra funding, extra streaming income, extra, whatever it is. But every time I look at Mendices, I don't know why, and I need to get this out of my head, but it always feels like he's doing something to cover up something else. Because that's how we met him. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. When we met him, he was in the
it still looks like that. Like I don't know why to me. I just don't know why. I want to because he's cool. I like Mendices, but it always looks like he does something to cover up for something else. I don't know why. I have that feeling.
I don't know. I kind of feel the same too when I see him do stuff. But I mean, if he is working a real job, good for you. I guess that's all we could say because we'll never fucking know.
Right?
Lord, but Yandy pulls up and she pulls up acting like she's gonna do a nice gesture. I immediately knew she was pulling up to try and get him to warm up to the situation. And I immediately knew as a wife, don't do that. Because these men, if you got a good man, will do something nice for you, be kind, surprise you. I have a guy who's actually romantic. That's why I deal with this bullshit. But try to tell you, the worst thing you can do, I think, for anybody, man or woman, is make them think you're finally doing something nice for them and you're only doing it because you want something out of them or to help someone else. So I'm like, Andy, what are you doing? She tells Mendices about Keisha's, issues and how Keisha will not be able to carry the baby. She lets him know a surrogate is going to be the situation. And he's still against it, says he's never been on board and feels like they're still just making choices without him. She could at least talk to him. And that's what people have to understand. It's not always, oh, my body, this and that. Like, yes, it's your body, even when you're married. But part of being married is understanding that you now have to give your spouse the courtesy and respect of just simply being a part of the discussion. Doesn't mean he's a part of the decision process of what you do with your body, but he should definitely be a part of the fucking discussion. And yeah.
But once again, we're talking about people who are legally married, or are they not? Yandy, Mendices, do we legalize the marriage in the US of A? I want to see the marriage certificate. Can you post it on IG, please? Just show me that you actually have a legal valid, because I don't feel like paying the $39.95 to find out myself. So, yes, can we see the marriage certificate? I'm not talking about the one that's in Ghana. I'm
They're
talking
not
about the one
married.
that's here.
They're not married.
Because
So
last I checked, they weren't. So that's why I was like,
yeah. Here's the thing, whether people like it or not, when you have a partner, married or not, if you're paying bills with them or live with them, I feel like things you should discuss with each other. They didn't discuss it with them. And here's why they should discuss it with each other. Because Mendici's very next question, he's still against it all, but he's like, who's paying for this? I said, Mendici's very next statement is, who's paying for this? And then we find out that Yandy and them are paying for it. Let me explain something to y'all. So you have a surrogate, it's going to be a minimum of $40,000, at least here in California.
I was about to say that is not the same everywhere.
That's the minimum here in California, because I believe California has a law where you have to like cover their medical care and some other shit.
I think it's more than that. I know that's what it says on paper.
That's just the minimum off the paper, but
yeah,
it's
that's just off paper. I think that it's way more than that. I think honestly, to have a surrogate, because I know it's based on cost of living. I'm surprised that Californians is that cheap, because I know in Georgia, I think it's 60.
It depends too on what you do. I know someone who's done it here, and she went through. There's an agency near the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, for those who don't know. And my friend went through there to have someone carry her baby, but they were weird about it, and the agency, like, they solely just paid the lady to like carry the baby. I guess the agency and what you pay the agency covers all of that. And then it's more expensive, I know, if you do like an independent or individual surrogate that's not always through an agent. There's a lot of ways you can do it. Either way, the shit's expensive, in my opinion.
Or y'all could have just did it the getaway, just like one of my friends did it. Him and his husband, they did it was basically a legal adoption, if you ask me. But she volunteered to do the surrogacy, but they couldn't afford to do it the legal way, so they did the illegal way, which means his husband had to, do what with her.
I had a gay friend do that, and
and see, this is why you don't do shit like this. Why you don't do this goofy shit, because 3 of her eggs broke during that one night of passion, and they ended up having triplets. That wasn't in the plan. My friend was all like, she's taking one of those babies, right? And his husband goes, no, she can't. We can't separate babies like that. He goes, I'm not raising 3 children like at one time. He goes, look, we got to do it. He was so, when I tell you, those babies will be 5 now. But when I tell you, I hollered because he really thought he was getting one baby out the deal and ended up getting 3. So don't do the getaway either, but that is an option.
Listen, that's a good point to bring up though. Like for on Mendici's end, who's paying for this? Because whether you do it the legal way or the ghetto way, you spending money because having children and raising them is expensive. So
The dialogue changes in my mind when it comes to those two, just because they are quote unquote allegedly, because I can't prove it, not legally married. I honestly have to say, I'm sorry. Until I have legal paperwork, I don't feel like he should have a say.
here's the thing. People who feel like Mendici should not have a say, regardless of legal paperwork or whatever. Just saying, when you're in a relationship, it's you have to be respectful, especially
That
when
is
you're
respectful.
especially when you're paying for it. To say to someone, "Oh, I'm going to do this with my body. You're going to have to support me," because IVF is not easy on the body.
But
He's
to
going to have to
me, I'm gonna
support
be
it with
honest
it.
with you.
You
Let
want his
me.
help, but you don't want to say so. That doesn't make sense.
What help was she asking for?
She's going to need help. Is the thing. That's the thing. You
With
can't
what
just
help?
go
With
through
what?
IVF on your own. There's going to be days
No, I'm
she's
talking about
tired.
what help does Yandy need with all this?
She's going to need help when she goes through the medical IVF process. Egg retrieval is not something that you're just going to be walking around after like lunchtime lipo or something. She's going to
I
have
feel like
to.
that would be even based on what she went through with him. I feel like that would be even.
That's tit for tat and childish, though. If she chose to keep him, then you can't choose to have more of a
I'm
say
sorry.
so
I'm
just
gonna be
because of
I'm gonna
that.
be tit for tat for that. If it's my money and my situation, we not legally.
All I
That's
know is, according to the Instagram, I'm seeing a lot of women that's telling Yandy, like, what are you
well,
doing?
of course. Well, of
Because
course they're gonna tell
if
Yandy.
you're
Yeah.
going to be with someone and paying bills and having a family with them, you can't do what she's doing. All she needs to
No.
do is tell him. You're making the decision to have a surrogate. You agreed to shit without him around. You're doing all this stuff. At least show some type of respect for your partner by including them in the conversation. But she's not doing that. So that's the part with Yandy. I'm looking like, and I understand she doesn't want to have more children. So I think that's also a thing that makes it like she doesn't want kids. So
I
what's the
feel
big deal?
like until as I said,
If they're paying for it,
I feel
though,
like she's paying for it. I don't feel like he's paying for anything. That's why I
he ain't
said
got no money. We know that.
that's why as he might got money, he ain't got Yandy money, is what I'm saying. And my thing is this: that to me, her paying for the surrogate, in my eyes, is no different from me giving my mama $500. I'm just saying. That's just me personally. I'm just saying I don't see the issue with it. If
Oh,
she can't
Lord.
change the life, if she could do it, then why not? Like that is going to. The only problem I have with this is that I don't think it's a guaranteed thing. That's why I said that's why I'm 50-50 with it. But I feel like to me, if she's willing to take that chance, it's commendable for her to do it. And I just feel like, and if you have the wherewithal to do it, why not? Because that could very much change that lady's life in probably the most wonderful way possible.
Here's what I don't like. Why do you need to change her life? She's a grown ass fucking woman. Here's the thing where I draw the line, where I'm like entirely turned off and not on Yandy's side at all anymore. It's one thing that you want me to put my body through something so that you can have a baby, but now you want me to put my body through something, pay for it, so some other random motherfucker can have a baby for you. The paying for it thing for me bothers me, because what happens
Yeah.
what happens
But
when the kid falls and breaks their arm, or the kid wants to go to private school?
she's legally responsible.
She's legally responsible, yes, we know that. But when you pay for shit, and Keisha, something about her gives me like freeloader vibe.
No,
I'm
no,
just
no.
saying,
I agree
you
with
work
that.
for
Absolutely.
Yandy's skincare, so it's like Yandy's
Mm-hmm.
the person and the reason why you have a paycheck. And now she's going to pay for and do this entire process for you. So my mind is going to, once the kid is here, the babysitting stuff don't matter, because cousins should play together, even though their cousin is their sibling. But the babysitting stuff don't matter. But my thing is, I feel like Yandy and them are going to end up paying for stuff forever with this child. And I don't know why I can see Keisha
But there's the
starting them
thing.
tears.
But that's what I'm saying. This is my thing. she shouldn't have invited all of them down to Atlanta in the first place. And that's what I'm saying. It's like Keisha doesn't need to work the front desk at your place. You can go grab somebody else. Keisha don't have to live right across the street from you. She can live up the block and around the corner. She ain't got to do all this. But as I said, if she got the wherewithal to do it, who am I? That's why I said, who am I to tell Yandy how to spend the millions that she has? Who am I to say? That's what I'm saying. That's what I say. I don't see the problem with this. If you want to do it,
I think you're missing this point from me that I'm not expressing clearly. I think when you have a child, you should be prepared to pay for that process.
No,
on your own
I do understand
you're
that.
responsible for the kid.
I
and
do
so I'm
understand
more
that.
so now I'm like outside of Yandy and them, I'm looking at Keisha with the side eye, because how the fuck you want to have a kid, but you're not prepared in any
And
way
I agree with you.
to care for the child.
This is no different than Sonia Richards Ross's brother-in-law working for her. And I told him to go get a job at UPS, FedEx, and all that. This is this is no different than that. I agree with you. No, I see all of that. But my point is that I don't care no more, because I feel this is bullshit. But if we're gonna be here for shits and giggles, let her pay for it. Let her make that fool of herself and lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. Let her go ahead and do it. Because you know
Keisha's
what? At the end of the
unstable
day,
too.
yeah,
Keisha's unstable emotionally.
absolutely.
She's gonna get mad one day and be like,
I knew she was unstable when she jumped and she grabbed that baby mama by her hair and yanked her on that couch. I knew she was unstable then.
yeah.
So that's why and not much changed from that point. Huh?
But she won't. You say because she jumped up on that couch, grabbed that baby mama hair, but she want a baby.
Time changes wonder. I didn't even know that was the same lady. I did not know that was the same lady. Y'all, I promise y'all, when I looked at her that last season when Samantha came up in that store and said, "Hey Keisha, like, what was the problem?" I said, "That's the same lady." When I tell y'all, I went back and watched that fight. I said, "That's not the same lady. There's no way that's the same lady." Like, y'all go back and watch that fight, and then come back and look at Keisha now, and tell me that's the same person.
Listen, I'm telling you, she do look different because
she looks different.
Yeah.
She
I
looks
don't know. I just
extremely
this sounds
different.
so
It's not
mean
look.
to say, but Keisha looking like a bum bitch that just want a kid but don't want.
No, that's what happens when you don't separate yourself and create boundaries with family.
Yep.
And the problem is that now you've come into all this money that you worked really hard for. Because y'all, bullshit aside, Yandy has worked hard.
She has.
There's shit that Yandy has not put on TV that she has in entrepreneurship. Yandy has worked extremely. Yandy been working since she was fucking. I've heard about Yandy since probably high school. So that's why, and I'm 33. I've been out of school, what is that, 16 years? Mm-hmm. So I've known about Yandy since then. And Love and Hip Hop didn't come on to three or 4 years later after that. So for me, it was more so you have to learn how to create boundaries with family and also keep them at arm's length. Yes, I'm here if you need me, but you can't need me all the time. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. So I understand that. And that's why I said I don't disagree with that. But like I said, Yandy has to learn, because she continuously does this where she always gets some old bum ass fucking situation of people trying to make them into something. But then they always come back and leech back up off of her. That's what I'm saying. She needs to learn how to. Honestly, I think personally, if I'm being honest, and I know we got to get to the next video, I'm being honest. I think Yandy needs to be single for a minute. I think Yandy needs to be single for about a good 5 years. I'm not saying single to the point where she's lonely. I'm talking about single to the point where she can really learn who she is and stop allowing family, husband, kids, and things to take away from her in such like unnecessary ways. Because I feel like this Keisha thing is unnecessary. I felt like the Mendices thing was way too unnecessary, because ain't no fucking way I could do that. Just like he said, ain't no way I could do it. There's no way I could do it.
At least he was honest. Shit. But,
absolutely.
Lord. But yeah, the next scene we get, this is why I was annoyed, because most of this episode was Yandy and this bullshit ass cousin. I don't trust her cousin at all. And the money thing for me, turn this lady entirely off. If you want to have a kid, I think that you should have the wherewithal and the finances to provide for your own child, including the process of them getting here. You know, I just don't. I don't respect that at all. I've gone through fertility issues at one point with my husband. We were trying to have a kid a few years ago. And the surrogacy, if that would have came up at one time, which it did, because at the time I was dealing with endometriosis, I would not. And my dad offered to pay. He's like, yeah, because my dad's dream is to be a grandkid because he thinks I'm meant to be barefoot and pregnant. But anywho, he was willing to pay for that process. I told him, no, I can handle that on my own. So Keisha, that was me at 24. What the hell are you doing at whatever big age you are? That's all we'll say. Moving it along, positivity. Spice, Miss, I'm only on the show this season to try and repair my reputation, but it's still broken, is deciding to give back to kids in Belize. I like that she gave back. I like that she tried to give them some type of hope. I just like that season after season since Spice came on the show, regardless on the shenanigans and the bullshit she does, she always finds a way to give back, not just to her home place of Jamaica, but wherever she's traveling. So that's all I'll say. I like kids. I thought that was good, and I'll leave it there. We did see Scrappy and Erica Dixon go on a zipline course. It wasn't even that hard of a fucking course. They weren't that high up. I've seen worse because I like shit like that, y'all. I'm weird. I will really run up and climb a tree and zip line across some shit, but they're acting all afraid of it. Black people, please stop with this ignorant ass stigma of, oh, we don't swim, we don't like water, we don't do outdoor activities. It's not true. We do. We do. There's lots of Black people in California. I see them all the time when I'm on hikes and shit. Just saying. They speak about Imani, who is Raymond Florine commented, I could swim.
I can too. So ironically enough, I didn't last long when I did it, but I actually played water polo at Logan. I did not
What
last
the
long.
fuck?
I did
That's
not
so
last
random.
long at all. When I tell you, I was on that team for a good 2 weeks.
Not 2
Absolutely.
weeks.
No, I couldn't do it. Well, first of all, there was no Black people on the team. And
Oh.
and secondly, it was like I only did it like I had a crush on this girl who played water polo. And you know how boys do ignorant, ridiculous shit just to try to get, I was one of those boys that I like to get to let you know that I liked you. I would take in some of the interest. That girl could have been part of the sewing class, and I would have took sewing. Like it would have just,
That
it
is
was
what a
just
bitch is.
that,
You want a scarf, bitch?
right? Like I would have did it all, but she was on the, and that was the only time I had one class with her, and that was the only other time I would have been able to see her because Logan was huge. So you didn't really see people. Like there's people who I didn't know even
Existed.
went there. Like it was just that big of a school. So yeah, I actually did that for a girl. I'll never forget that. So yeah, I know how to swim very well because you have
Okay.
to know how to swim to get on the team.
Child,
So yeah.
listen, that's how you know you were very sweet though. When I did see you with the girl
Mhm.
that you like or something, you were very sweet. So good for you.
Who was I with when you met me? I think I was with Tara when
You were.
yeah, I was with Tara when we met. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tara, y'all. I loved her
I
so
think she's
much.
getting her doctorate right now.
She
She's
is. I
like
am
one of
so
the
proud of her.
few people from our school who's doing something other than
We
having babies.
we lost touch, but we used to when I went to college, she would keep up. She would call me every now and then. She would.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yes.
very good. That's very, very good. I remember her as people at that school like to kiss her butthole. I didn't get it. I was like, but I like the school. I like Tara. She's always nice to everybody. She's
She
one of
was
those
the
people
sweet.
who was kind.
She was one of those people that she was just so sweet. And
Mm-hmm.
I was so mad that I messed that relationship up. So bad.
Stop
No, I'm
it,
just
Jay.
kidding. I'm totally kidding. I know I'm totally kidding.
Lord help us. Lord, but these people on the zipline course are just talking about Imani, that's Scrappy and Erica's child. She is going to college. She looks just like her mama. Whenever I see Imani, I'm like, that's creepy. You look just like your mom. It's so creepy. But the girl's in college, so I'm like, why y'all kicking it? She's in school. Why are y'all still together? Like kicking it. So I guess they've been flirting. We did see stuff all over, what is that, the Shade Room during New Year's. Erica and Scrappy brought in the New Year together. They've been kicking it. So I don't know what the hell they're doing, but whatever they're doing, it seems to work for them. It seemed like this scene was more so for them to talk about Bambi because we find out that Mama D was sad that Bambi hung up the phone while she was talking to one of their kids, Scrappy and Erica's kids, or Scrappy and oops, what the fuck is her name? And the Bam's kids. She just hung up the kids while they're talking to their grandma. And Scrappy brought up a good point. He's like, no matter what happened, because we do remember years ago, Erica Dixon and Mama D used to go at it bad. But she never stopped or let her issues with Mama D get in the way of Mama D being a grandmother to Imani, which I respect. I do, because, grandparents are great if you've been blessed to have them. Grandparents are great. I've only had a grandma, but she is enough. She is enough and feisty. Even at 80 plus. But, grandparents are great. So I don't see an issue with it. This episode just felt like they were trying to subliminally get at Bambi. Y'all don't have to do all of that. We don't care anymore. You're divorced. Now that y'all are divorced, I want y'all to stop talking about each other. Bambi and Scrappy and Erica too. Stop talking about each other. Imani's grown, so you shouldn't be affected by the baby mama. And Scrappy, you're divorced. So follow your little custody agreement. You finally got a house after 20 something years. And I want you to enjoy that house with some peace and stop bringing up this lady and her hooves, as Mama D says. So that's all I'll say there. Did you want to comment on that scene at all? Yeah.
Because, I don't like Erica. So no, we're not.
Really? I like Erica Dixon, but not when I've never liked her when it comes to her interacting with Scrappy, if that makes sense.
That's all I've ever seen. That's why I'm like, what else was there to?
I liked when she was quieter, when her friendship with Rashida. This was like when she was on her way out of Love and Hip Hop. She was more so focused on
when she was on her way. When she was on her way on Love and Hip Hop. That's right, when the Kirk cheating scandals were happening, and she was with Rashida banging up on somebody's hotel. You talking about that, Erica?
Yes, that's the Erica I like, because if somebody
I actually didn't like her more because of that.
I like her. I like her for that.
She honestly, she's one of those people where you want them to go to therapy because they could be better, but they choose not to because they say that therapy is not a Black people thing. It's one of those stigmas. She gives me that. I don't know why she gives me that, but that's what she gives.
No, she does give that. She
does.
I
don't know why, but she does.
I just feel like she's a better friend than she is.
Maybe
anything else, because with Scrappy, I don't get it, or why
I still don't. Yeah,
is she a member of the cast? Are they a couple or are they not? I don't like when people do this who are famous. Like, people wouldn't talk about your shit as much if you would just let people know what it is. Oh, we fucking. Oh, we just playing around. Oh, we're together. Like, but they always want to not say. It's just annoying. Yeah, moving along though, back in Belize, Spice, Rennie, Shekinah, and Sierra go to a temple. I did not catch I didn't know if this was a pastor, a shaman, or a spiritual guide. So I'm gonna just call him the little shaman man with the little, he knows things. That's what I'll say. They gave accurate messages from God, and they claim they all found peace. So, good for y'all. I'm happy y'all found peace. I really am. We'll leave it there. I don't care for this weird healing journey from these women. It feels disingenuous, except for with Rennie and Sierra. I think they really do want to find a way to not be in as much pain from their losses of loved ones. But Spice and Shekinah, they're just so disingenuous. That's the best thing I can say. So, James about to make a face, y'all. We back on Yandy and
because I knew that was coming.
Listen, I'm so sorry, but we just about at the end, y'all. So, and if you are watching the live replay, I appreciate you guys. I see that we get views often after we're live. Also, to the people here, I appreciate you for being here. Yandy Mendices and Keisha go to the doctor together because now she's including Mendices in on this process. The doctor explains the IVF process. Mendici asked if they could get an egg that looked like more like Keisha. I thought that was funny. No, they could not. Keisha starts crying in the middle of the doctor, and I thank you. Bitch, stop crying. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going there. I'm sick of it. Stop fucking crying. Because I feel like she's trying to use her tools, if this is like a real storyline. I don't think it is. I want to be clear, but I'm going to comment on it as if it is for the betterment of my audience. If this is a real storyline, it seemed like you're trying to manipulate people into giving you what you want with your tears. But I'm pretty sure Yandy's already explained that is her body and that Mendices will just have to be on board. So if you know your cousin already agreed to some shit, you come into an appointment just to explain something to him and y'all already got shit in the works. Why the fuck are you crying? I don't care. People, y'all can call me insensitive. I am an insensitive, bitchy Gemini. So I promise you I won't give a fuck. So have a field day. But it just feels disingenuous. That's all I'm gonna say. Every time Keisha is on the way to hearing no or not getting her way, she's acting a fool at the kid's birthday party or she's crying. And Yandy suddenly goes from cousin to, you know, you're my sister. Shut the fuck up with your tears, lady. You should be crying over that wig, Keisha. That's what you should be crying over. Because this lady is not only blessing you with the opportunity to even consider having a child, because that's not obviously something she can do on her own, but she's paying for it. And she's probably paying for your medical care as well. I hate big ass grown adults who don't do for themselves, who are able, because not all adults are able to do for themselves. But big adults like Keisha, so she uses her tears. At the end of it, Mendices ends up giving her a hug. He doesn't give a blessing, but leans toward it. After all this bullshit, this bitch better be pregnant at the reunion or when this season ends, because they can't really do reunions like that no more. I want to see this lady pregnant by the end of 2024, or we need to all band together and get Yandy off this show.
No. They filmed this 4 to 5 months ago. I ain't seen Keisha on Yandy's Instagram. Not that I follow Yandy, because I don't. But I ain't seen nothing about this yet. As I said, we gon' for shits and giggles. Yeah, this is a real storyline. Yandy trying to be, ultimate higher powered person, giving higher love by supporting one of her eggs to her sister cousin. Yes, we're gonna believe that's the storyline for today. But in real life, in real time, when I look at Yandy on social media, she always in Africa. So I'm not finna sit up here and give any hard feelings, because I feel like this is acting times 10.
Yeah.
That's all this shit is. This is
all I'm gonna say. I don't even give a fuck about timelines or none of that. But that's a good point. And I'm glad you said it. I want to see this lady pregnant. And if I don't see her pregnant by the end of this season, I don't want Yandy back. She's not even interacting with the other cast members. I want her gone, and I want Kirk and Rashida gone too.
First of all, Kirk and Rashida should have been gone season 4.
They should have. They should have. They should have.
They should have been gone season 4. I'm tired of looking at them.
Child. Lord help us. So the next thing we see is Scrappy and Diamond have breakfast. I guess they're alluding to them sleeping together. Why is this a big deal? Why do we care? Please stop making this a big deal, VH1. I don't give a fuck. I just don't.
Because last we checked, he's single. So what would that matter?
He's single. He can do what he wants with who he wants.
Yeah, why would that matter if he's sleeping? If he went back to Diamond or if he went back to Erica? He likes to recycle. So, I mean, what are we here for? This was stupid to show this.
Mm-hmm. It was. Thank you, because that's all I'm going to say on it. And I know for the younger crowd, y'all made oh no, because did you see the energy between him and Diamond? I don't care about that scripted ass scene, but it do look like Diamond's skinny ass. That's the first meal she's probably had in forever, because the way she tore up that breakfast.
Yeah, and for y'all little kids, you little boys and girls who really honestly feel like because he went back with Diamond, yes. If you reach your hand in the paper you've already touched, yes, it's going to have fond memory. Absolutely. That's why we call it recycling. There's no different than a human being and you recycling a relationship. And
but
you
just like a recycled paper straw, sit in that shit for too long and it's gonna fall apart. It's just gonna.
Because both of y'all haven't matured out of the reasons why you're not together in the first place.
Bingo.
And that's the whole point. That is the whole point that we're trying to make to y'all, because some of y'all act like y'all are clueless. The whole point is you have to mature, be responsible and accountable for the reasons of why you didn't work in the first place. And if that realization gets you to a point where you now can come together because you now have a clear understanding, then that's when it works. But it does not work when y'all are still the same two people you were when you started. It doesn't work that way.
Mm, I agree. I agree. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. So the last scene we get was, I don't know, it's odd. All the girls in Belize are in the car and they're speaking of their pregnancy experiences. Um, Spice asked Sierra what we all think. Are you addicted to getting married? It looked like it at this point. But at the very least, it's good that you guys are trying to work on and pay attention to things about yourself, have some self efficacy. What I will say for those watching, as someone trained in mental health who has taken the oath, that's like, the psychological oath, there are 12 of them, standards. Please get real help. Your friends love you, they mean well, same with your family, but they are not trained to understand the science of the brain, how that translates to our behavioral and cognitive awareness in the world. So, when you're going through stuff like this, it's okay to find a professional, even if they are not within your color or your race. They are trained to give you the tools that are going to help you thrive versus self-sabotage. And sometimes our families mean well and they unintentionally, friends too, can unintentionally give us advice that's not the best because they're just coming from an emotional place. They don't like that we're hurt. I think it's good that they all spoke of their experiences and how having a baby at 15 for Rennie and Sierra was traumatic. Teen pregnancy is not cute. It's something that has blown up a lot, especially since that damn Teen Mom show premiered.
Yeah, which MTV still need their ass with for even because there's nothing glorified about that.
Nothing.
There's nothing glorified about that. There's nothing, and the fact that MTV decided to carry on because I think that show, or at least with the original cast members, I think that's still a show today. And the fact that all of those women, I think there's one who has like 6 kids and she's only not even 30 yet. It's like, because y'all don't understand. Your mind is growing. Your perception of life is still vacant. Like it's still like you're still open
It's
into all
kind of
you
just
can.
compared to the women, it's very simple. Like y'all women who like to get plastic surgery when you're 18, 19, 20, and then you turn 30 and that thickness kicks in, that's natural. And now you wishing you didn't do that. It's kind of similar when it comes to having babies when you're too young. How the hell you breastfeeding and your titties ain't developed? Just think of it that way. So
Well, see, some of them didn't. We went to school with a girl who got pregnant and couldn't breastfeed, and she got mad about it.
listen.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I mean, what did you expect to happen?
I don't
This
know.
is
I
why
had sex in high school too, but like I had condoms and they used to look at me crazy when I would go to Rotten Robbie or 7-Eleven. Can I get condoms? But I'm not about to let these broke boys impregnate me. And if you're in high school and you're getting pregnant, you're both broke.
Out of all the places you could have went,
I showed
that
it.
is, out of all the places that
I
she could
showed
have
it. It was
went,
right by the house.
wow. She said Rotten Robbie's, as you said, 7-Eleven.
Mm-hmm. They sell condoms. They was $2 for a lot.
Ted's drugstore was just right across the street. Food Max was just right across the street.
My mama and my stepdad used to be up in there often. I couldn't risk
Oh,
it.
okay.
So
Well, yeah,
I
I got
went
you.
where they wouldn't know to go.
Well,
Okay,
Ted's
because
drugstore, don't nobody
she
go up
never
in there.
went inside
And
Robbie. She put her
Ted's
US.
drugstore is right by Carl's drinking the laundromat. Yeah, don't nobody go up in there.
Now
So that's
see,
what I'm saying.
there I didn't go because my stepdad, y'all, he was an alcoholic. He in jail now and everything, never getting out. But he used to go next door to that Kavanaugh Liquors in that plaza with across. So I
Yes.
couldn't go there. I couldn't go there. The spot was hot for me. I lived very close to my high school, y'all. Like I walked to school every day. I could start school at 8 a.m., leave the house at 7:55, and be on time. So my
Child,
parents
we had so much freedom in high school. It wasn't even
shouldn't have.
funny. We shouldn't. We had off-campus lunch. It was just like
They got rid of that when you guys graduated. I was like, oh, we
I
missed
still
you.
had it. So
You lucky.
I still had it. Y'all didn't have it. I still had off campus because we had so much good food.
Around.
I'm just thinking about Dairy Bell now. Let me stop.
I ain't been there in years. They're still there.
Oh, I know that man ain't.
Oh boy, he
That
said that
man's
really.
food is good. That man food. When I come home, we going to China Cook, which is in the same plaza, and we're going to Dairy Bell and getting. We
Not
finna be
China
fat.
cook.
We
Oh
finna
my
be fat
god.
as hell. All right, go ahead.
Listen,
Let's finish this.
that's fine. That's fine. But basically, the group they start talking about all their triggers. I noticed after Rennie speaks about her mom, that's when she starts to feel sick. We find out she has a hole in her kidney, which is a big deal. But I think from looking at her, that talking about her mom and like good memories triggered an anxiety attack, which is common for people who are freshly grieving.
Mhm.
I respect Rennie for being on the show through her grief, but I do think she needs to take a break.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. Just seeing her in that state of mind, it was she wasn't ready, and I feel like a lot of them get on the show because it's a quick check. You don't have to do much. You just got to show up to film, and make you $100,000. I get it, but the problem that I have with this is that when your emotional state of mind almost looks like postpartum depression,
Mhm.
it is very hard for us to want to have sympathy because a lot of us have done, God forbid, have not lost parents. So it's hard for us to be relatable to you.
Mhm.
And, that much because we're going to tell you stay home and we get you after work. But, like, girl, like, that was sad to watch.
Yeah, it was. It was. We hope that she gets better either way. If it's a health thing, go to the doctor. But it did look like an anxiety attack. And there is a difference between an anxiety attack and a panic attack. For those who
There
don't
is
understand,
huge
there's a
difference. Yep.
huge difference. And anxiety attacks will affect your actual body, like people's
Hmm.
heart rate. Some people stroke out. Some people have seizures. I'm someone who had to go on medications because my anxiety attacks, I used to have full out seizures. And they didn't know what the hell was wrong. They found out, oh, she's just stressed out. I said, shit, I ain't even 21 yet. But now I'm not so stressed out. But that is our recap for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, season 12, episode 3, titled I Can't Belize It. We are going to head over now. Stay on the channel. We're going to be going live shortly in the next 5 minutes. We're going to go over the Housewives of Beverly Hills. A lot to talk about. The Beverly Hills Housewives are giving more than Potomac
Absolutely.
and almost every show.
Absolutely. Almost, well, except Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City gave. But
Salt
this
Lake City
episode.
was cool this season because of Monica. She saved
Mhm.
it. She saved the
Monica
show.
and Mary both. Yep.
Yeah, she saved the show. But the Housewives of Beverly Hills been interesting, so we're going to get into that. But I appreciate everybody for watching this live recap. Be sure to check the link in the description if you're interested in subscribing to James's channel. We appreciate all of you. If you have questions, comments, feedback, requests for shows you'd like me to recap or me and James to recap, the email is in the description as well. Somebody asked me, how do I contact you? I was like, all right, post it. Anywho, we're going to go over to our next recap. So thank you for being here and bye-bye.